All right, you guys. So now it is that your girls recording. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into the next damn reaction, shall we? Now, Patrick CC, shout outs to you. I was supposed to react to this last week, but no, had places to go, things to do. Why everybody hates JoJo? Is it what's the last name? What's the last name? I'm gonna just say JoJo, the singer JoJo. You know what I mean? The female singer JoJo. Yeah, that Siwa. Am I saying that? I'm gonna listen to it while it is. I don't really listen to her music like that. I know who she is, but I haven't really, I haven't really listened to her. So without further ado, y'all, let's get into this next video, y'all. Let's do it.
One of the biggest challenges of the child star curse is transitioning from their youthful identity to adulthood while still appealing to and respecting their young fanbase. JoJo Siwa has recently faced major backlash for her attempted switch from a bright-eyed, smiley, and colorful tween role model to a rebellious, edgy, and provocative pop star. But the animosity towards JoJo is understandable, because this transition is obviously disingenuous.
Bro, that fucking song, that Karma's the bitch, that whole movement, we talked about this last week. Girl, you're doing like the dancers ate. There was one shorty with the heels on that, like she did that thing and like did what she was supposed to do. But JoJo's really just doing the most with the shit. Like, I don't understand how you don't have a headache just from doing that dance. Because even I have a headache, and I only just did that for like 0.2 seconds.
Today, I am going to break down exactly why JoJo Siwa's transition is failing miserably, and prove that even she doesn't believe in her new bad girl persona. For Siwa's entire life, she was known as a positive, hardworking, and charismatic dancer who rose to fame through the hit Lifetime reality TV show Dance Moms. JoJo
I've watched a little bit of Dance Moms on Lifetime.
Used her youth fame to grow her YouTube channel and social media presence. At nearly 13 years old, Siwa released her hit single Boomerang, an upbeat song that addresses childhood bullying. The song would go on to earn a 2x platinum certification, and the music video has accumulated over 1 billion views. From there, the 14-year-old signed to Nickelodeon, appearing in children's television shows like Bizaardvark and The Thundermans, as well as various television specials and award shows. She became a modern Nickelodeon superstar, releasing various songs, TV shows, TV movies, and performing sold-out concert tours in stadiums around the world. She even launched her own merchandise line of JoJo's bows. The lucrative business venture reportedly sold more than 80 million bows from 2016 to 2020, equating to well over $400 million, according to Forbes. By the time she was 17, she was filthy rich and was a positive influence on her millions of young girl fans all around the world. Naturally, while entering adulthood, child stars start to think about how long they can or want to appeal to children. JoJo's more mature gigs were competing on Dancing with the Stars and becoming a judge on So You Think You Can Dance. But those mature audiences struggled to take her seriously as a judge, even though
I think this is the problem with all child star actors or actresses, to be honest with you, because how it is that you are known for being blown up or whatever the case may have you when you become famous, that is what it is that people are going to recognize you for. Good, bad, or indifferent. I've seen both sides of the spectrum on this, but it is very hard, and it's not that easy for any child star to be recognized for these particular roles. And then when they're finally growing up, the Snyder effect. Yeah, it's definitely, people will look at this like, oh, she's not the cute little teeny popper girl, stuff like that anymore, or oh, they're not the cute little boy, he's all grown up and everything. Sometimes it is we kind of have to get out of our heads of thinking of this, because everybody, like, not everybody's going to be the same person as what they are. I'm not even the same person I was 5 years ago, let alone for me being like 17 or like, or 12 years old and stuff like that. Completely different mindset. Obviously it is of age, and even taste buds even change. So I think that's something it is that we as the people have to understand. It is that everybody's going to get older. Everybody. So our idolization, and I think that's a parasocial, if I'm using the word correctly, sometimes is the parasocial relationships that we have with celebrities. We need to fix that, because we think of these people as what we put in our imagery versus who it is that they are and what it is they're growing up to be. So I think this may be the strongest case for JoJo in this. Now the whole rebellious thing, I've seen that whole rebellious attitude from Miley Cyrus, Lindsay Lohan, Ariana Grande. I've seen it with different, Amanda Bynes, Raven Simone. I've seen it with all different types of actors or actresses. But there are certain Demi Lovato. That's another one. There's certain things it is that we're gonna have to let go as people. You know what I mean? If we just like, hey, I grew up watching this person, this, and this. It's the same thing with us as well. Whatever it is that we're, as the streamer, content creator, it is we're known for. A lot of times it is we get new people all the time. So they're going to watch our old stuff. Fair. But we hold on to those old sentiments and it's like, dang, I'm not even in that same mental anymore. You know what I mean? Sometimes people do need to learn how to like rear off to let new things like change. A lot of people don't like change. So that's something it is that we, as the people, we need to work on.
Though she had over a decade of dance experience and was sporting a new adult-like pixie cut. Plus, being a judge on these dance shows is typically
this pixie cut is just not doing you justice, babe. It's not. This is giving you like the soccer mom look. This is that my kids are black hairstyle look. This is, I'm going to drive my kids to the soccer game look. I don't like this cut on her. If it was something else, then I'd fuck with it. But I just
job someone takes when they are past their prime. JoJo is just 20 years old and believes she has much more to offer to the world. So it was time to make a drastic change to let the world know she is not a bright-colored child star anymore. Siwa's fans were suspicious of her transition while she began rolling out her newest single, Karma. In February of 2024, JoJo posted a photo of her wearing all black and seemingly tattooing her entire left arm. She also posted a video on TikTok showing those tattoos, which were fake, by the way. Shortly after, she posted a series of 9 photos on Instagram, each with one-word captions that, in order, read, "See you in 1 month. Remember, karma's a bitch." Considering that everything she had ever posted on Instagram was a 4K quality photo of her smiling and wearing bright colors, the grainy, dim-lit photos with one curse word in the caption was actually a drastic change. I think JoJo is in her f***it era. It looks so illegal to see JoJo putting a curse word on her captions. She's in her Miley Cyrus era. I'm torn. My daughter likes rainbows and bows JoJo, but I'm invested in this f***it JoJo. I want to know what's happening. The following week, she posted
it's stuff like this, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. That right there was
posted this celebratory video with the caption, "My last week being a child star." But the official transition marks when she posted this warning video to TikTok.
Warning, the following content is not made for children and may be disturbing or offensive to some viewers. May contain sexual themes, violence, strong language, dramatic scenarios, and flashing lights. Viewer discretion is advised.
She would later explain the warning in a video that it was important to me to give that heads up and be like, look, if you follow along, that's all you. If you want to go, now's your time. This was JoJo's way of formally letting the parents of her young fans know that she is not the kid-friendly star anymore.
A new era of life, we're becoming an adult! How many tits are gonna pop out today?
Nobody knew yet what was coming, but JoJo claims her transition would be shocking.
That's been my most massive inspiration is no one has made this dramatic of a change yet. No one has made, in my generation, this extreme of a switch. And I am the first in the generation. It is very scary, but someone's got to do it.
Now, I'm not really sure what counts as JoJo's generation, but she was making some huge claims here.
Right.
What could this extreme switch be? When she finally teased the intro of her song, the comments...
See, JoJo, this right here, this was smooth. Just this was smooth. All the other stuff it is that I seen of you just been just headstrong, just going, you know what I'm saying? Just do one of these. Like that was smooth. That was smooth. Why are we saying fuck you, JoJo? Why are we saying that? Why are we saying that?
Extreme switch be? When she finally teased the intro of her song, the comments absolutely eviscerated her. But before we dive deeper, have you ever Googled your name and seen yourself on one of those strange sites that has too much information about you? Feels pretty weird. I'd really rather that kind of stuff wasn't available to anyone who's looking for it. Data brokers are making tons of money.
Hey, listen, if y'all haven't done this before, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? I would do it. Definitely would do it. That'd be sponsored. Hi, T.
Your 2-week free trial. Link is in the description. Thanks, Aura. When JoJo Siwa finally previewed her highly anticipated song, people in the comments were ruthless.
Because she's
it
a
sounds
hoe?
like Spotify ads.
She doesn't even know you, gang.
Is this literally
What?
Lab Rats music? It sounds like Fortnite default emote music. This is Party Rock Anthem. The beginning of her song starts out with the lyrics, "I was a bad girl. I did some bad things." And she also says that she was a wild child, which just led to more and more negative reactions in the comment sections. The song was most definitely viral before it even got released, but not because people were dying to hear it. It's because people were making fun of it. Yet JoJo claimed that something crazier was still going to happen.
Everyone's been talking about the song, oh, this about the song, that about the song. No one's even questioned the music video yet. I'm about to start sharing some things from the music video, and that's where shit gets real crazy.
But then when she started sharing the music video snippets, I guess the craziness was supposed to be the sensual dancing, or maybe this Blades of Glory inspired outfit, or maybe the Kiss inspired makeup, or maybe that the setting is on the island above Bikini Bottom. Adults looking at JoJo's
Yo, Patrick, you're unserious for putting that in
above
there.
Bikini Bottom.
You're unserious.
Adults looking at JoJo's
I'm serious.
imagery ironically look at this like a kid who's trying so hard to be an adult that it just makes her look even more like an uncomfortable kid.
Some of the most respected
Yeah.
people in the world have come up to me and been like, what you're doing right now is so right. It is so right. It is what the world needs. Like, I am learning from what you're doing right now, and that's crazy to me. I mean, I heard that from Lil Nas X yesterday, heard it from Meghan Trainor a few days ago. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. The support from people like that.
But again, no matter how much she tried to build up hype, people couldn't be less enthusiastic about this release. And JoJo's attempts at being a badass just gave the internet more fuel to make fun of her.
Dream guest on my podcast? Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, let's spice things up. One of my exes. Oh?
Finally, the song dropped on April 5th, which accompanied an interview where JoJo claims that she was doing something groundbreaking.
There's never really been an influencer child star turned into musician adult star.
She then went
So we're just gonna say F. Miley Cyrus, Lindsay Lohan, Ariana Grande. And that's just naming a few. You can even put Drake into the mix as well. But you're not. My thing is that you're not the first person to do it. You're not the first person to do this. I just think with the rebrand, obviously, anytime it is a child star is growing up and stuff like that, yes, you do need a rebrand. I do believe in the rebranding. Rebranding and damage control things within PR is what it is I was trained to do. Now, I just think you're doing a little too much. That's my only grievance where I'm just like, maybe not so much like, I don't know, maybe if it's the hairstyle or if it's the makeup or it's the fit. I don't know what it is, but it's the song's not even bad. That's the crazy thing. The song isn't bad. It's actually good. But I think there's just too much of trying to prove it is that you're an adult, and then it looks like it is that you're an immature adult. So that's something it is like, you know, PR wise, somebody need to go ahead and kind of pull her coat and be like, hey, listen, you know, I think that may have been a little bit too much. Let's settle this down a little bit. You are an adult, yes, but there are some things that you got to ease into. Not everybody's going to be accepting of this new rebrand. This took quite a few other people. It takes a while for people to really start being a fan of like your music or content or whatever it is that you do as it is, right? Sometimes it is you get able to hit people on the nose, you know what I'm saying, with your content right off the spot. But sometimes there's things of character development and stuff that comes along the way where it's just like, hey, I wasn't necessarily watching or a fan of this at first, but then I really started to listen. I really started to watch this, and this, and then now I really like this person. Sometimes it is that, you know, I think in JoJo's case, if done correctly with the right team, I feel like it is she could.
Went on to say that she believes this song is the first step in inventing a new genre.
What would you call the genre?
The genre is, I said it back in the day when I first signed with Columbia, I said I wanted to start a new genre of music. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, well,
It's called gay pop. And they were like,
not only is the child star turned pop star extremely common, but the song she released is structured exactly like any other dancey, chanty, power chord driven pop song reminiscent of the likes of Lady Gaga, Kesha, Carly Rae Jepsen, etc. Less than a week later, she corrected her statement, telling TMZ that she definitely was not the inventor of the style, but rather wanted to be a piece in making it bigger than it already is. Walking back her comments was her first misstep.
Already messing up with that. You know, backpedaling is the #1 thing within PR you got to be very careful with. Yeah, whatever it is, like, this is why it is media training is so damn important. The media training is a thing, because I'm all for you doing pop music that is for gay people. I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? Pride Month's coming up. I'm all for it, gang. If that's something it is that you like, then by all means, I have no problems with this whatsoever. But there's a way of going about this. There's a way of going about this. You know, even people still to this day don't even like Lil Nas X because of the fact of what it is that his sexual orientation is. That's something that is going to carry with you a lot of times, especially with conservative people. Although it is the conservative people be the main ones that be trying to scope out and try to find people in the LGBTQ community. That's a whole nother story. But I think, you know, she has a great mindset. I just think it is she's going about this wrong. There's something that just needs to change. There's something that needs to change about with this production side, and I think that she may be okay. I'm gonna figure
she
this out.
She hyped up this era like she was doing something generational. She should have just doubled down on her statements and been like, yeah, I invented gay pop. What are y'all gonna do about it? We all agree it's a ludicrous statement, but she already said it, so now you gotta stand on it. Correct. Don't be all like, oh no, this is what I actually meant. Badasses don't explain themselves.
Exactly.
However, things got even worse for JoJo when TikTokers realized she didn't write the song. When analyzing the credits on Spotify, you will notice that Desmond Child, Timbaland, Antonina Armato, and Tim James are credited as the writers, and Rock Mafia as the producers.
Why is this a shock, though? Why is this such a shock? There's a lot of people who've had writers help, by like producers and stuff like that, songwriters and everything like that. Like, come on. A lot of the people that we listen to may or may not have written their own things. Now, I can say for a fact that Nicki Minaj, Doja Cat, you know, Megan Thee Stallion, those are people who actually, you know, put their pen work to, you know what I'm saying? Actually write down their lyrics and stuff. But is this really far-fetched of hearing that this may not be her song? No, to be honest, it's really not. Ghostwriters ain't a new thing. It's really not. It's really not, bro. Which is why I'm like, okay, is this supposed to be like, oh my God, she didn't write her own music, I can't listen to her music anymore? No, you know, you just got to give writers credit. That's it.
Antonina Armato is a well-respected songwriter who wrote hits like This Love by Maroon 5 and The Heart Wants What It Wants by Selena Gomez. Armato also wrote for Miley Cyrus during her Disney Channel era. Because of this, people suspected that the song was originally written for Miley's breakout moment into adulthood, and they also found this 2012 tweet that may have supported that theory. Big thanks to Timbaland and Rock Mafia for a great collaboration on #Karma's a Bitch. And then Miley responded and said, don't forget me, bitch. But Miley never released a song called Karma, and we don't even know if she ever recorded a demo for this song. We would later find out that Brit Smith, an artist basically nobody has ever heard of, was actually meant to release Karma back in 2012.
Rock Mafia back in the day, it was supposed to be my first single. Things changed and I went with Provocative instead, and shouldn't have done that really. We should have gone with Karma. That was my first choice, but label things got in the way and I kind of was led in that direction, and we went with Provocative. And then
this is why it is that I don't blame the musicians within this, because a lot of times there's stuff behind the scenes with record labels that they'll like a song, somebody will record a demo for it, they'll like the song, but then they'll give that song to somebody else. Like we talk about with J-Lo all the time. That's why it is that she's gotten so many fucking hits, is because other people have sung the song and they gave it, the labels have given it to her. So this is not the first time it is that I'm hearing this. You know, it is what it is, but there's a lot of politics within the music industry within itself that it's a whole nother story for another day.
I left the industry after that.
Brit and JoJo's versions are almost exactly the same. The lyrics are word for word the same, and the structure of the song is nearly one-to-one, but Brit's version is so much more dynamic. It is less power pop driven and feels more like a classic 90s / early 2000s dance banger. Plus, Brit is a better vocal performer. But once this information came to light, TikTok exploded with viral videos claiming JoJo stole this song. The narrative shifted from JoJo is cringe to JoJo is cringe and a thief. The craziest part of this whole situation is that Brit Smith got approval to release her version of the song just 1 week after JoJo released hers. Fans liked Brit's version so much it nearly outstreamed JoJo's, securing 5 million streams and reaching number 6 on Spotify's Viral 50 charts. Brit Smith's version also peaked at number 8 on the US iTunes pop chart, surpassing Siwa's, which peaked at 89 and failed to reach the Billboard Hot 100. Brit Smith.
Now, only imagine this if niggas did this to J-Lo back in the day. When, like, that song, When You Have My Love, that first song it is that J-Lo came out with, like, in the 2000s. Only imagine is the actual songwriter for that dropped her version, and niggas was fucking with that. That's a setup. That's a crazy setup. That's a crazy setup. I'm going to say it is the record label kind of did her dirty with that, because that shouldn't have never happened. If that song was originally yours and it was given to somebody else, I don't know why they released it, especially if that's a song that came out in 2012. That makes no sense. That's 12 years. Now you want to release the shit? Like, like that to me sounds like a setup. I'm sorry. When you allude it's your song when it's not as wild, that's what I believe people are pissed off. I mean, but like, then we would have to keep that energy with a lot of other people. A lot of the other songs it is that we listen to, that we love and stuff like that, may have not been written by the person who's singing it. Let's just keep it a beam here. If we're gonna keep that energy, then we have to keep that with everybody. You know what I mean? It's not even just with Drake. I mean, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson. I mean, the list can go on. This is not a new thing of people hearing a demo and it gets given to somebody else because it is that they sing it better, or whatever the case is, to bring a new style or genre, whatever the case is. You know what I mean? We'd have to keep that energy to everybody else then if we're gonna do that. But don't everyone get called out for the same thing, genuinely asking? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Especially if it's a #1 hit. Let's say, like, oh, I'll Always Love You by Whitney Houston. That was not Whitney Houston's song that she wrote. Somebody else sang that song and it was given to her. And that is the #1 hit song it is that people still remember Whitney Houston by. But that is not her song. That's a prime example of what it is I mean. I've talked about this with some of Michael Jackson's songs, you know, Heal the World, Can't Stop Loving You. Those are songs that was written by a female artist. Oh my God, she's a phenomenal female artist too. And he had the song and he even sang kind of just like how hers was, you know? So this is why I'm like, I hear it, but do I agree with the whole, like, outing her as a thief? Because then we'd have to call everybody a thief if that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
It's literally made a come up off people hating JoJo Siwa. JoJo previewed another unreleased song which was immediately labeled as stolen within hours of playing it for her fans.
This next song is called Choose Your Fighter.
TikTok users immediately remembered a different artist called Emily, who previewed the exact same song in 2022. Emmeline responded to the leak with this comment: "I actually didn't sign off on it coming out with JoJo. Not her fault. If my version gets love, I can still put it out after hers." It's unclear what Emmeline meant by this, and she didn't end up explaining it further. But then Siwa finally responded to the comments of her allegedly stealing her songs.
Background on Karma, honestly, it's an old song. I was pitched it. I loved it, was obsessed with it, so I grasped onto it.
Why not that instead of a new song?
No, that's a very normal thing. A lot of...
I'm trying to tell you, I can't blame JoJo for this. I cannot blame her for that. Especially it is that she got pitched the song and she loved it. That means it is the record label is the one to be at fault for it. If we're going to have the smoke for the record label. This is not, like, again, this is not the first time I'm hearing about stuff like this. I've heard this all the time. People just want some shit to hate. They do. They do. Which is why I'm like, I can't even fault this girl for the song. I just think between this scandal and the fact that she probably may be doing a lot to change the imagery of herself, it kind of shot her in the foot. But either way, I'm not gonna fault JoJo for this one.
Songs are
Okay.
what happens is people write songs and then they just don't do anything with them, and then a few years later it makes more sense for another artist.
Did you steal it from Brit Smith?
I did not steal anything. There's no such thing as stealing. No, I've seen the thing about the one Choose Your Fighter, one of my other songs, but no, that's the same situation. Somebody
She didn't have to take the song. I mean, yes and no, but then that puts you in this weird predicament with like the record labels and stuff like that. If you're saying no to certain things, then they're not gonna put you on the pedestal it is that you was originally, because there is a lot of times there's people that sign to these record labels, they're ready to work, they're ready to do all that, but then other people that is underneath that label get more of a shine it is that they do, and especially if you start denying things and whatnot. You know, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't in her situation. And the labels be pissing me off when they release the wrong version of a song. That too. So what the fuck? What can she leave that record label and just don't be grimy? All record labels have a little bit of like griminess to them. Trying to leave a record label after this you have signed, most likely it is you signed maybe like a 6, 8, 10, 12 album deal and stuff like that. That's not an easy thing to do, and they have such the strongest hold into those damn fine prints. And as somebody it is that was looking into this stuff with attorneys and everything like that at one point, because you got to do the same thing within film school and photography. It's all the same thing. You will realize it is once you sign those things, you sign your life away, and it's very hard to get out of that. Prime example, look at Megan Thee Stallion with the 1501 record label it is that she had. She had to constantly keep going to the court, be like, hey, listen, they're not allowing me to release my music. This is when you have to get legalities involved with this. You know what I'm saying? Taylor Swift, Kesha, there's quite a few people, you know. 3 album deals is a trend right now. It's a trend now. Well, it makes sense for it to be now, because how many people it is could able to do a 6 album deal or a 10 or a 12 album deal and it be successful? That is very hard. That is very hard to not only stay on top of the charts, making sure it is the record label eat, making sure it is you eat, making sure that you get your masters, royalties, and stuff like that. Like, it's the record label's fault here. It is. I think it's just her team. That's what I'm thinking is the problem here. It has to be the team.
Somebody else did write it. I did not write the song. And
You got the rights to it.
But I have the rights to it.
JoJo did not steal these songs. It is common for artists to not write their own music and have music that other people wrote pitched to them. Most of the time, songwriters make a batch of songs and send them out to multiple artists. And whoever is the first to buy the rights and release the song publicly is the legal owner of that song. 99% of your favorite artists have worked with songwriters. The one caveat to this is that JoJo's preview of her Choose Your Fighter song was not even her voice. So she didn't record her version of it yet and previewed it thinking nobody would realize it isn't her singing. But JoJo is being way too open.
JoJo, you're at fault for that. You're at fault for that. At least with J-Lo, it is like she tried to make it seem like that was her voice. You clearly can hear Christina Milian or Ashanti vocals in the back. You can clearly hear that. Remember when there's an art of just shutting the fuck up? That right there. That right there is just like, JoJo, I wouldn't even preview that. I would just preview the instrumental and called it a day.
About her lack of songwriting. She is cosplaying the bad girl while trying to explain, no, you guys don't understand how the industry works. I'm not a songwriter, I'm just a performer. When has any major pop artist ever explained exactly how they don't write their music? Exactly. It ruins the aura, the mystique of being an artist. How is anyone supposed to connect with your lyrics and brand after you blatantly said you don't write your words? Like, we know that you and every other pop star in history don't write their own songs, but don't say it. And you could tell even she knows she shouldn't talk about it, because listen to her stutter and hesitate to speak on her writers in this interview.
Honestly, I wrote this rap song called "The Lies Sound Better." Sure. I told my writer, I was like, look,
faster than Busta Rhymes. I was like, challenge me.
But the main reason why nobody is taking her seriously is because she is trying to push this bad girl era, but everything.
Why JoJo look like she's a 40-year-old Karen that just got done harassing someone and threatening to call a hospital because someone's kid was playing too loud in the driveway?
She does just proves that this persona is not genuine. Firstly, let's just get this out of the way. The Kiss-inspired makeup has to be the least authentic thing any rebellious person would ever do. Then again, it's perfectly fitting because Kiss was basically a glorified children's band. Their music was considered badass and rebellious if you were ages 8 to 13 in 1975, which are likely the ages of people that currently think JoJo Siwa is badass and serving rock star looks. JoJo expressed that her goal was for her bad girl moment to be reminiscent of Miley Cyrus's bangers moment.
When I was 8 is when Miley had her bangers moment. And I was like, all I want is to have that one day. Like, I want that. And honestly, since I was like 15, like my whole like inner circle has been like talking about it and like getting excited for it.
JoJo even copies Miley's signature.
If that's the case, then I feel like y'all, somebody from JoJo's team should have reached out to Miley's team and asked certain questions on how did you do this successfully? Because at the time, I know at the time of this, when Miley was going through her badass era, there was a lot of people shitting on her too. But now, such a phenomenal singer to where it is that it makes sense, it works. This is why it is you need to go ahead and ask the proper questions, whatever it is. I mean, I said this earlier, like the makeup is kind of throwing me off. I'm not really too big on like the fit. It's too much of an emphasis on like, oh, I'm this badass girl and like I fuck with girls and everything like that. Like, yeah, I'm not like myself anymore. Like, we get that, but like, Jesus Christ, Miley was successful? I will say yes. I'm definitely gonna say yes. She could sing her ass off. You know what I'm saying? She has a very unique voice, and especially, I said this before, the older it is you get, the more deeper your voice as a woman gets. And I've heard even after having kids, this happens even more. But I'm going to say it is like, yeah, successful.
Signature tongue out pose, which, if you can believe it, was controversial in 2013.
But at the time,
and
a
yeah,
lot of people
Miley is definitely a legend, but it's important for JoJo to recognize that Miley was actually bad. Like, Miley was smoking salvia out of bongs, twerking on Robin Thicke at the MTV VMAs, wearing basically no clothing for all her public appearances in 2013. She was taking extreme risks and got so much backlash for it. The fans, the media, and other celebrities called her trashy, a stripper, pathetic, every horrible name to rebuke her antics. And
bro, they was even saying it is she's the reason why Robin Thicke and his wife is no longer together because of that performance. That shit was a little cringe. People don't recognize, what's up, Riz? People don't recognize to how people was getting on Miley about with this. I mean, there was like petitions even going about saying it is like, oh, my child or my daughter used to watch Miley Cyrus or Hannah Montana, and now this is what it is that she's doing and everything. Like it's stuff like that was happening. You know what I mean?
Miley did not care to explain herself nor satisfy anyone. She just kept doing her thing because she felt so trapped behind the child star brand for years. Miley constantly detailed in interviews how she resented the Hannah Montana character.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie with you, sis.
Miley constantly detailed.
Now, a mullet is usually, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody can pull off a mullet. Not everybody can pull that bitch off. But baby, this is working for you. This right here, this look just works so well for you. I mean, I'm loving the whole black on black. I'm loving the whole jewelry. I'm loving the makeup. I'm loving the hair. She looks good here. She looks good here. You know what I mean? She looks absolutely good.
In interviews how she resented the Hannah Montana character. She hated wearing the wig. She hated doing the press. She felt like a fraud to her young fan base. Miley was trying to do whatever she could to escape the Disney image, even if it meant losing her young fans and the financial benefits that came with it. She even had a multi-million-dollar merchandising deal with Walmart in the works that she lost due to her antics, and she did not care. You could say in hindsight that what she was doing was trashy, but it was at least authentic. It seems like JoJo is talking up this transition more than fully diving in. Even the tattoos on her arm were fake. Well, most of them were, just furthering the idea that she is half committed. She seems half committed because maybe she doesn't want to lose all her previous fans that made her a multi-millionaire. Remember, she sold $400 million in bows. Maybe she thinks she will be able to draw on her face, do a promiscuous dance, and sell $400 million in records. But music is way different than TV or even dance. It's not even about talent. It's about depth, lifestyle, attitude, parasocial connections through lyrics and mystique, all of which are extremely difficult to fake, and people know JoJo is not actually a badass. Like, look at this video of what she claims is a reckless or unhinged statement.
The last few weeks, the internet has definitely made me feel like I'm a f***ing psychopath. I realized something. I am a f***ing psychopath. And this is some shit that only I can do.
She really thinks calling herself a psychopath is some rock star shit. She already refers to her music video as iconic. JoJo seems to lack the understanding that she doesn't get to declare herself as badass and iconic. Other people have to do that for her. It's like declaring yourself a legend or putting yourself in the Hall of Fame. You don't get to do that. Other people determine your public perception. It's like she wants the credit before ever putting in the work.
Although there's a lot of times everything's subjective with people like calling themselves like oh, this person's an icon, this person's a legend, this, all that is subjective. But I will say this, JoJo saying it is that she is an icon when nobody depict that role for her is a bit strange. I will say that. I just think it is this whole, she need to get rid of this. Like the whole dark makeup look. If you're gonna go with this aesthetic, who that wrestler, Rhea Ripley? Am I saying her name correctly? Because she was a little blonde haired girl before it is that she got into wrestling, and now it is. I mean, she got the whole dark aesthetic. She got the short black hair with the dark emo makeup. The clothes to match. Now that right there, I could fuck with. If JoJo did something like that, and then came out with Karma's a bitch, but she didn't say no press or anything like that. She could just do a little snippet here and there. Be like, all right, here's what's to come. If you feel like it is, if you don't like my rebrand, then I don't give a fuck. But this is what I'm doing. If she would have did that, I would have been so on board. I would have been so on board with this. But like, just too much of this. This is a cosplay. This is not even like really you, babe. This is a whole cosplay of trying to. I feel like it is that you're doing this for you to believe it is that you're rebellious, but you're not rebellious. Okay, you don't have that rebelliousness in your nature. I feel like I'm more rebellious than JoJo, and that's a bad thing. I'm not even within like the gothic shit. If you want to consider blue hair kind of goth, then it is what it is. But just less of the talking and like over explaining or anything like that, and just live within the rebelliousness. Do something rebellious. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not advocating no violence or anything like that, or vandalism or anything like that with them case. But find something it is that could be a little bit on the rebellious side and just get that little thrill. You know what I'm saying? And then come back and be like, I got a new, you know what I'm saying? I got a new video. I'm sorry for this, and this. I'm no longer over explaining myself. This is what it is I'm trying to do. I bet, boom. And then see if people fuck with it.
Plus, she has the money, time, and resources to actually put in the work. Put in the 10,000 hours.
If anything, baby girl, get rid of that blonde hair. Just go all black. Go all black. You don't gotta do all the extra makeup and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You could do like a nice little like smoky brown eye look, and with the right type of makeup and stuff. Just go with the black hair. The black hair will already be like, oh my God, she's already in her rebellious phase. You know what I'm saying?
Hours to grow and change into the artist that she claims like she can be.
Like I said, I will never ever claim to be a singer. Yeah. But I will claim to be an artist. Okay. I am giving the world art, and they might not like it, they might hate it, but they're enjoying it. And it's become a bit of a guilty pleasure for everyone.
But she likely has agents, managers, and yes men saying, no, you can do this. You can be whatever you want. Yeah, wrap your Lamborghini Urus with PNG cutouts of your face. That's what all 20-year-olds wish they could do. But easily the one thing she did that diminished all her credibility during this transition is straight up admit that she was never bad.
I got pitched this song, Karma. And the first word is, I was a bad girl. And I was like, oh, it's a good song. I was like, but I can't say that. I can't say I'm a bad girl. I'm not. I was 18.
You better than me. Shit, I would have said it. Even if I wasn't even a bad girl. Even if it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could literally just be like at home doing nothing for like days on end. And if the first lyric it is I'm a bad girl, I'm gonna sing that motherfucker it is like I am. Sometimes you gotta rap to cap, you know what I'm saying? Other rappers do it all the time. They're like, I was such a bad girl. You know, you gotta believe it. You gotta feel that motherfucker way down here. You know what I'm saying? To believe that shit.
Fresh off of my Dream the Tour. And I was like, I can't say I sang Every Girl's a Super Girl last week. Like, I can't sing I was a bad girl this week. It doesn't work.
How is anyone supposed to believe in your new image when you don't even believe in it yourself?
That's the problem. And that's why I'm saying you gotta go ahead. You gotta go ahead and believe it. You know what I'm saying? Believe it. Even if it is you gotta fake it to make it. Believe it. Believe that. You're like, hey, listen, I was a bad girl. Believe it. You know what I mean? But all right, y'all. Listen, Patrick CC, shout outs to you, gang. W video. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. And shout outs to all you badasses out there that's watching this. I'll catch y'all in the next video.